Hey guys, how are you? Hello, hello, hello. I am running a little bit late for today's Fertility Hot Seat. I was on a coaching call with one of my fertility clients, and yeah, we ran a little late. So, if you remember what this is all about, my Fertility Hot Seat happens every other week. We did do a surprise one last week just because we were in, exciting mode of reaching everybody. But I'm going to invite one of you who requests to join me live, and I'm going to do a free 15-minute live fertility consult with you. And so under the premise that I am not a medical doctor, I am a acupuncturist and herbalist. I've been practicing for 17 years. I am doing these hot seats from a space of my own clinical experience and of course the information in this best-selling fertility book that I wrote 5 years ago that has helped thousands of women on their path. And then of course my other books. Yes. So I'm going to give you advice based on the experience in those books, based on almost 20 years of clinical experience. And let's see who wants to join me. I think this tells me. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to feel like I always have a hard time. Okay. Let's see. Who else wants to join me? I think I'm going to go into my list. I see. Okay. So B. Beeman, do you want to be the one? I'm going to hit go live with you and let's see what happens. I'm waiting for you and connecting. Hi. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Oh,
You're on. Hello?
hello.
Can you see me or hear me?
I can see and hear you.
Okay.
I don't see my video though.
Isn't that funny? Okay. I can see your video.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, usually it comes through like top half and bottom half, but you can see and hear me. So that's okay. If you can't see your video,
Yeah.
that doesn't bother me if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So tell me your full name or your first name.
Brianna.
Brianna. Okay. Hi, Brianna. And tell me about your story. Tell me what's going on. Let me see how I can help.
Okay, so my husband and I are 31.
Okay.
We've been trying it'll be 4 years at the beginning of
Okay.
this next year.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm trying to think how we started. He, let's see, he had his analysis a couple years ago and it came back fine. Um, and then I've had some couple blood works, and they found that my progesterone tended to be low, so I have been on progesterone for a little bit, well, probably a few years now.
And just in your luteal phase or all month long?
They only tested it, I think it was, oh no. Sorry. They tested it cycle day 4, I believe it was um, let's see, the second time. But I have a short cycle, and so the first couple times that they tested it, I think they were testing it too late in my cycle, I think.
What's
But
your
even
cycle
on
like? Tell me what makes it short.
so it tends to be anywhere from like 23 to 26 days. And I tend to ovulate. Well, I get a positive test for ovulation normally about day 10.
Okay.
So, and ever since I was on birth control for a few years, and ever since birth control, it's been definitely very light and short cycles.
And what's the typical color of the bleeding when you bleed?
So it doesn't start off super strong. I normally have spotting like for a few days before, like dark brown, and then spotting a couple days after as well. And then like the actual period blood starts out kind of dark, I think. Sometimes it gets to like a bright red.
Okay.
And then it a lot of times it'll like go for a couple days and then like pretty much taper off almost completely sometimes and then come back the next day kind of like a rusty dark red, kind of thinner
Okay.
in consistency. So
And how often are you changing something when you're bleeding? Is it like a decent flow?
not
No, so it's light.
like I'm pretty much only changing because just to like
Hygiene.
feel fresh. Like I tend to not go through tampons and pads and I'm trying to do more pads and tampons.
Okay. And then, so the progesterone, so do you take a supplement all month long or just after you ovulate?
Just after, she recommended starting cycle day or 5 days past peak until I start bleeding.
Okay. And how much do you take? What do you take?
It's I didn't grab that.
Metrium, is it?
It's a progesterone oil, like kind of
Okay.
cream or oil thing
Okay.
in a droplet.
Okay.
And I do like lay about 4 droplets.
Okay.
I had been in suppositories, but she couldn't necessarily see the difference.
Okay.
So
And then do you so have you read any of my books or what have you been doing on your end for
yeah.
stuff?
So I read Yes You Can Get Pregnant, and then I have The Body Belief,
Okay.
and I've scanned a little bit through it, mostly been like I tried some recipes from it because I'm actually in the midst of an elimination process. So I'm kind of following my doctor and then another book that's about like reducing inflammation. So
Okay.
I've been in the process of the elimination diet
Okay.
for 8 weeks now.
And like I'll refer to Body Belief, but I mean you could use any reference, but like do you have a lot of the red flag symptoms? Like do you have any other conditions that are going on in conjunction with the fertility challenges, like digestive issues or skin issues or?
Yeah, I think so. It's probably similar idea in the inflammation book. Like they kind of go through like a checklist, and I was high on quite a few of them.
Okay.
I've had sores on my tongue for quite a while, and I haven't figured out what that's related to. I've had some joint like discomfort, I guess, and then definitely digestive. And it's frustrating because even through the elimination diet, like I'm still encountering some digestive issues, like kind of loose stools. And I don't know if it's that I'm not getting enough fiber with the elimination
Yeah,
or
tell me,
what, but
what are you currently eating right now? Like, what does a day look like?
um, normally either like salmon or like a red meat, some chicken, and then pretty much just tons of roasted veggies. I think I have been lacking a little bit on the leafy greens,
Okay.
but I've been trying to get those in like my smoothies. I just kind of cook them up a little bit, like how you recommend in fat. I just cook them up a little bit and then put them in a smoothie.
Okay.
Avocados, yeah,
What
and
about
fruit.
eggs? Did you cut out eggs altogether or?
Yeah, it was part of the elimination thing, so I haven't been doing any eggs right now.
Okay. And how many grams of protein do you think you're getting a day?
I haven't figured it up really. Oh, I've been doing collagen too to try to get at least like close to 20, like either have it with my tea in the morning or like break it up like 1 scoop in the morning, one
Okay.
scoop in my smoothie later. Um, So I'm not sure how many like total grams of protein.
Okay.
But yeah.
And so 8 weeks on the elimination diet, haven't seen major changes in like some of the digestive, but did you see less joint pain or the sores on the tongue? Are they going?
So the sores got a lot better, and then I found a like packaged snack product that based on the ingredients I could have, and then after eating it, I feel like they got worse. So I'm kind of wondering if there was something in that.
What was in it? Do you
Um,
remember what it was?
well, I'm thinking it might have been the cassava flour
Yeah,
because I haven't really been
I have a
having.
terrible reaction to cassava myself.
Really? Okay, so that
Yeah,
might be
the
it.
diarrhea.
Because
Yeah.
it was like cassava, coconut oil, salt, oh, and tapioca starch, I
Yeah, it
think.
could be that too, right? So it's like it
Okay.
sounds a little like there's leaky gut situation going on. And then did you see any change in your period? Did it get any heavier from
Um,
the elimination?
no, not really, but I am excited to see what happens with this cycle because I got a positive test on for ovulation on day 13, which is the latest I've
Oh,
had
that's
in
great. Okay.
long time. So I'm like, I think I ovulated day 14, which so I'm really excited to see what the last half. Oh, and I forgot, I have started doing this cycle in the midst of my period. I started castor oil
Oh, good. Okay,
packs.
good, good, good. Okay.
So yeah.
And what's
And
the,
I really
go ahead.
oh, I really enjoyed. At first I was like, oh, it's gonna be a hassle, and then I really enjoyed it and didn't want to stop at ovulation.
All right, good. Well, you could just do, I have my hot water bottles down there. I was going to show you. You could just do a hot water bottle now, like the rest of the cycle, instead of
Oh,
no castor
okay.
oil.
Okay.
How about ovulation? Are you seeing like healthy cervical mucus?
Oh, that's another thing. I do not. Like, I can count on one hand. I mean, honestly, it's probably been two, maybe three times where I've seen like the stretchy egg white.
Okay.
I'll get sometimes where it feels wet or like slick, maybe a
Okay.
little bit when I wipe, but only a few times have I seen the like really good, like super stretchy. Um,
And what about
so.
this cycle with the day 13? Did you see?
Um, I think I felt a little more wet maybe, but no,
Okay.
fertile, yeah,
And
like the
what
stretchy.
about sex drive? Does that go up at all?
Um, yeah, I feel like especially like after my period,
Okay.
like shortly after, and then yeah, I feel like it right around fertile time is generally
Okay.
high, but
And then have you ever done like acupuncture or herbs or anything like that?
yeah, so I did, let me see, acupuncture I did a couple years ago for about 6 or 7 months.
Okay.
But it was through, I don't know if there is like a big difference between who you go to, like whether it was at my chiropractor, and so I'm not sure.
Okay.
He knew I was working on fertility, but I don't know like if it would be better to go through like maybe my naturopathic doctor who's helping me with fertility.
Yeah, maybe. Um, and then, yeah, because to me, it sounds like we want to, well, obviously, we want to see more cervical mucus, right? So it's like what gets that progesterone high in that luteal phase is a really good, healthy, ripe egg, right? And a good, strong
Okay.
ovulation. And so that comes from like building the blood, low battery. I'm still here, right? That comes from building the blood in the yin, which is in that follicular phase. So that's your protein, that's your fat, that's your green vegetables, that's your supplementation, right? So, I would think about, that the diet and supplements, which we'll get to, should all really support that. The acupuncture as well, because it just improves circulation and blood flow. So we want to see that cervical mucus shift, because then that tells me that there was a good, healthy, ripe egg that ruptured and ovulated, and then progesterone should be where it needs to be. And even if you don't get pregnant, then you start to see, like a little bit later of the ovulation. I mean, I don't think day 10 is too early. I think that's still doable, totally. But 13, and then hopefully we see like a 27-day cycle this cycle, right? If you're not
Yeah.
pregnant. and then a good stronger bleed. So that's for you. What you want to focus on is like that blood's getting like fresher and healthier, and you know, and even with the castor oil packs, hopefully you start to see less of that brown in the beginning, and you know, and again that cervical mucus, that it's good and strong. So, you know, I would just say that from a protein perspective, that like hitting 80 grams of protein a day. And then what about exercise? Do you exercise a lot or regular amounts, movement?
Since doing the elimination diet, I haven't been. I
Okay.
keep meaning to get back into. But yeah, I think in the past I've done like different like lifting slash like cardio program.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I would keep like your sweating to a minimum is how I would look at it, right? Because
okay,
sweating is your fluids, and we want to build the fluids. And
okay,
then also, so I would say 80 plus grams of protein a day, which that will then give you a good amount of fat. Your 6 to 7 servings of veggies, cooked over raw. And then how about supplements? What are you taking supplement wise?
oh yeah. So doing Thera Thera something Theravital.
Biologics.
Yeah, Theralogics, prenatal, and then their CoQ10 as well. And then Black Cohosh, I do cycle days 2 through 9. And then the progesterone oil, the Peak +5 through start of my period. I've been doing melatonin
How much?
and um 3 milligrams.
That's a lot.
It is okay.
I would cut it back to like 1.
One.
It's good for fertility. It's good for egg quality, you know, but it's a lot. I think 3 milligrams can make you groggy too.
Okay.
And
And
then,
then I do NAC.
okay, how much?
Um, um, let's see if I have my bottle. 900 milligrams.
Okay.
And then I think the last one is the Feminescence Harmony,
Mocha.
the Moxa supplement.
2 a day.
Yeah.
And then, so no fish oil?
No, and I don't think any of them has.
No, I'm looking up Theralogics right now, the prenatal. I don't think it has a fish oil though.
Okay.
Because the fish oil too, the fats are so important and anti-inflammatory as well.
Okay.
So let's just look at your ingredients on the Theralogics. Folate, plenty of that. The choline is good. Yeah, so I would add in like 2 to 3 grams of fish oil a day. And then I prefer the cod liver oil because of the vitamin D content, because you're not taking vitamin D either. I don't know if it's been checked, but to make sure your D should be between a 50, like above a 50, closer to a 70. That is going to help with progesterone levels and all hormone levels. So I like the Green Pastures cod liver oil. I have recommended ones on my site. Just go to my website under recommended products. I would add in 2 to 3 grams of fish oil, which is like 1 full syringe of the liquid, or 1.5 syringes a day. That can really help too with like juicing things up. That's what you want to think about. Is like, how can I get like juicier, if you will?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
vitamin D levels. I'm assuming you've seen a naturopath, so they're checking like your thyroid and your D and all that, right?
She actually she hasn't done like a full thyroid. It's only been TSH.
I would ask for a complete thyroid panel with thyroid antibodies and get your vitamin D levels checked. Those 2 things are really important. I would add in the fish oil. And then, I mean, the black cohosh is fine. You know, I'm an herbalist, like a Chinese herbalist. I prefer to do like full formulas. Like I would put you on something more blood tonifying to build things up. Or maybe you go back to like, or find an acupuncturist through your naturopath and see if you can find someone who's an herbalist and get on some Chinese herbs to help.
Okay.
And then what about stress management? I mean, is this all consuming for you, the trying to conceive journey, or how do you?
I feel like I've gotten better perspective. I think it's been a little over a year now. I got into like a life group slash support group with a couple other ladies, and that's been really positive.
Good.
Um, and then I think just I'm in a lower stress job now, than I was at the beginning. So I mean, I have ups and downs, I feel
Okay.
like, but I think overall I'm in a healthier spot, like
Yeah.
mentally, and just kind of like keeping perspective and just I don't know. And I mean, going through like some of your material and everything, like it. And I think I want to start tapping. I saw
Yeah, I would do
your video
tapping.
with
That
that.
sounds great. Because you want to think about too, it's like, um, the body has a choice, right? It prioritizes either stress management, like survival, or fertility,
Mhm.
and it like literally like chooses which hormone pathway to go down. So to think about that, like of like setting yourself up for success in that department.
Yeah.
Um, One other thing that you're not on that I would recommend that I talk about in my book is liver. I would take liver every day too, if you're
Okay.
not
I was
taking it.
wondering about that.
Yeah,
Will
because
that help with like the blood flow
exactly,
too?
that'll
Or
really help build your blood. And think about that too, like the red and green vegetables, like the beets and the leafy greens and all that, because you're getting a good amount of iron in the thermologics, which I think is good, in the choline. Um, and since you're not eating eggs too, the liver will help with choline. And then you know what else I would get is sunflower lecithin. If you are doing nuts or seeds right now, which you might not be in the elimination,
yeah.
when you get through it, maybe try introducing sunflower seeds. And then or if eggs are not going to be an issue for you, then you can get the eggs back in. But the sunflower lecithin is also a really good source of choline. Choline is like what you want to make that egg nice and ripe, So like ghee and grass-fed butter, like that, those things that are naturally occurring that are yellow are basically full of choline. And like you want that for the egg.
Okay.
So, but I would definitely add in the fish oil, the cod liver oil, and the liver. Keep it
Okay.
up with the castor oil packs, and then I think, celebrate the wins of like, okay, the elimination diet, like the ovulation was pushed back. Do you know what I mean? Like things like that. Like
Yeah.
maybe you could even look into the UVA. I don't know if you've heard about it, but I have links out to it on my
Yeah.
site. But that might really help build your confidence from a perspective of like seeing a good LH surge and then seeing what your progesterone is either
Yeah.
supplemented or on your own once you get the good surge. I really think it's good for that mental confidence aspect too.
Okay.
You have to be in the States, and right now I think an iPhone is necessary, but I think soon they're opening
Yeah.
up for Droid. But
Yeah.
and then increasing the fish oil, because you do need, like, the fish oil also really helps with I forget, there's some amino acid like phosphatidylserine or something like that that will help with that stress response as well. So it's almost like building up a reserve for you to like that your body can manage the stress and also choose to ovulate and get pregnant.
Yeah. Okay.
And then also, I know Sperm has checked out, but I would still put him on some of the things. I have a good Sperm Health video that I've released. You can check it out on my YouTube. So it was a very
Okay.
recent one. And just see if you can get him on some of the things too. And, keep having fun with sex and
Mm-hmm.
visualizing, that family of yours too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you have any other questions for me?
Related to the fish oil, I was looking at your list and it looked like you had one that you recommended if you have more like, I
Oh,
can't
the
remember if it was
Rositas. Yeah.
autoimmune.
The Rositas is the one you could do if you were worried about autoimmune stuff, right? The inflammatory.
Okay.
So you could do the
Okay.
Rositas cod liver oil. And I think even like Nordic Naturals has a decent cod liver oil that's out there now too. Just double check any of them, that make sure they don't have soy oil in them, because they like to add soy to some of them. And
Okay.
then the goal is like 2,000 milligrams or 2 grams a day. I
Okay.
like the cod liver because of the vitamin D. You could just do a regular fish oil and add in a vitamin D, but maybe get your levels checked first and then decide on that, and so you can know how much to take.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. So keep us posted. Okay.
Okay, we'll do.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for
Thank
joining.
you.
All right. I'll talk to you soon. And guys,
Okay.
I'll come through and answer your questions now. Okay. All right. That was lovely. Let's just see. I know Beth is in there answering questions. You guys are so sweet. Thanks for doing this. Let's see. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, you're cute. Castor oil packs. We love those. Protein and fat for the win. L.Ac. How to raise progesterone naturally. Can shorter luteal phase be linked to too low progesterone? It can be. You know, there's a couple of things. It could be progesterone and estrogen are out of balance. Too low progesterone. Could be thyroid function. Could be inefficient ovulation. So there's layers to it. Low testosterone as well could definitely cause it. If you wanted to figure out the exact nature of why, I would recommend the Dutch test, DUTCH. But again, similar to what I was telling Brianne, is to really focus on juicing up that follicular phase. And then that should kick you into a good enough gear to then have a healthy ovulation that would kick your progesterone into the right space. Oh, the liver, only because I love you. Well, I love you too. Love Rosita's. Do you recommend Moxa every day? If you're trying to conceive in the luteal phase, Moxa can be pretty moving. It's good in certain points, not all the points. So it just depends on the case, but I do love Moxa. What's normal time length for egg white or cervical mucus? You know, women can see it up to like 6 days, 7 days. I think, you know, if you see 1 day of really good stretchy egg white mucus, that's great. 2 to 3 days of like moistness, and then that, you know, real juicy 1 or 2 days is great. You just want to see some juiciness. Ideally for, you know, I guess if I had to say it, absolute ideal, probably 2 days. But like when you wipe and you're like, holy shit, you know, this is stretchy. That's what you really want to see that. Okay, guys. That's it for questions. So that was fun. Thank you again, Brianne, for coming live. And I can't wait to hear more from you. Sounds like she's on the right path. And I think that's a lot for a lot of you guys to think about that. Like you've been on the path for a while and it's still not working. And say you followed all the recommendations in here. You might need a more aggressive elimination diet, as I have mapped out in here, and then let your body start absorbing. So elimination diets are key to help your body to start absorbing all its nutrition, and also figuring out what foods might be taking away nutrition from you, like depleting your body and your body's function, and if inflammation is playing a role in your ability to get and stay pregnant. So yeah, I think these two books combined, I mean, obviously I wrote them, I do love them, I think are great. And, you know, there was a couple things like she's done her research and she's following all the things, and she wasn't on the fish oil, which I can't stress enough to be so absolutely imperative to health, vitality, and fertility. You know, again, fertility is an abundance, an overflow of blood and chi and essence and that juiciness. And that's what we want to see. So it's not about age. It's not about quantity of eggs left. It's about the juiciness, the vitality. That's what we're going for, guys. Okay. All right. I'm going to go, because I have a few more calls after this. Oh, let's see. Sorry. Just started my bone broth today. Yay. I'm on my second dose of liver support juice today. Feel like I needed an extra kick. Is cod liver more protein, more potent? Only because of the vitamin A and D. Vitamin A and D are crucial to hormonal regulation. So I prefer cod liver over regular. Which is best omega-3 to take? Brand, please. So go to my website and see the brands. They're all on there. Go under aimeeraupp.com and you'll see my recommended products, okay? All right, guys. So I'll do this again in 2 weeks. Thank you for joining me. That was super fun. Thanks again, Brienne, for being so brave to come on and share your story. I really appreciate it. And should you take cod liver oil when pregnant? Yeah, I mean, I did. I think it's perfectly fine and healthy and safe. Some girls switch to a regular fish oil, just kind of depends what their doctor tells them and what they feel good about. But yes, I took 2 grams of fish oil throughout my entire pregnancy with James. Okay. All right. Love you guys.